Welcome back to the Seattle Seahawks franchise. Today, the Seattle Seahawks have some tough decisions to make, and here we are looking at some retirees for the NFL, people who have retired for this upcoming offseason, or the current offseason. As we look here, Antonio Cromartie, Brandon Marshall, there's a bunch of players that we know today that have retired. Peyton Manning retiring after he came out of retirement just this past season. He is retiring once again, and he is most probably done with his whole entire career. Jay Cutler retires. There's a bunch of players, a bunch of big names. If you would like to see certain names that you want to see, go ahead and look around. You can go ahead and pause the video. I just kind of made this sped up a little bit just so we can get through the video a bit faster than if it was a raw file. It'd be like a 20-minute video with everything that is in this video. So the Seattle Seahawks winning another Super Bowl, trying to get back to that once again next year. It's going to be a tough offseason, though. We have some players that you will be seeing that are free agents. We can see here, though, look at the players that have been re-signed and released. And you can see as well as all these players that have been released, a bunch of them that have been released that are some pretty big names currently in the NFL, and it's pretty shocking to see all these players that have been released, and we will see if we indeed do pick up some of these players that have been released. In my past video, I showed the stats, so you guys are probably going to see some of those stats play a factor into the reasoning for a couple pickups that I do make in the off season. I actually don't make many pickups in the off season, but there is one player that I do pick up, and you'll be seeing that very momentarily, not too long from now, but you can see a lot of the players that have been released. A ton of players have been released, that's for sure. I mean, my gosh, people are trying to get under that cap room, get more cap room to themselves, and that basically just about does it for all the transactions in the NFL up until the part that you guys have missed. All the head coaches retiring, fired, Dan Quinn is fired, Mike Tomlin fired, Jim Caldwell, a bunch of players, coaches fired, retired, etc. So here we go. We're going to offer Michael Bennett a tremendous contract. Here we go. 8 mil, 4.5 mil, 50 million. He does not accept it. That would be 12.5 million a year. And Michael Bennett will be hitting the free agent market and will no longer be a Seattle Seahawk. Jimmy Graham, here we are trying to give him a good contract. We're going to give him a little bit of a lowball offer for what he wants, just so we can save a little bit of room. We do go up a little bit. We're thinking, nah, I don't think we should do this deal. So we go a little bit down, and we go with $63 million. He accepts it, and the Seahawks retain Jimmy Graham. He'll be back next season. Does Cam Chancellor retain his contract? We'll see here. He wants 6 years, $55 million. We're going to give him around that, give him a little bit above that, and he will indeed accept his contract as well. So the Seahawks retain two good players there, and Jimmy Graham, great players, Jimmy Graham and Cam Chancellor. Unfortunately, though, Michael Bennett will be a free agent. You can see here Justin Britt, we're going to give him a little bit of an offer close to the ballpark that he wants to be at, even a little bit above, and he declines it and does not decide to take it. We're going to move on from Justin Britt and try to find something in the draft. These are the rest of the free agents that would be free agents. We give a deal here to Tony McDaniel, and he will not accept this one either. We gave him a little bit of a lowball offer, but at the same time, we want to keep as much cap as possible for the upcoming season for free agents that we can sign for 1 year. Kevin Pierre-Louis here, we would like to retain him. He's been a strong guy for the Seahawks. He's an 81 overall. You never know. We might lose our current linebacker at that spot. I believe that's a right outside linebacker. You never know. Here are all the free agents, though. AJ Green, Devontae Adams, Marshawn Lynch. Hold up a second. Marshawn Lynch is on the free agency market. We're going to offer him something here. Right here, guys. We're going to offer him a $6 million salary with a $3 million bonus. As we can see right here, this is what we'll be offering Marshawn Lynch. We'll see if he does indeed take it. As we go through the rest of the players that are on the free agency market, we can see Ryan Matthews, Earl Mitchell, Martavis Bryant. 88 overall, he was second in receiving yards if I'm not mistaken. Malcolm Toomer, our punter, we actually signed him for a 1-year contract, and I think it was like a 72 overall when we got him, and then he ended up being an 87. As you can see, there is Golden Tate on the free agency market, an 86 overall, but we don't seem to have much cap room to work with. We don't really see many of these players coming to the Seattle Seahawks. We don't have a lot of room to work with, and we will not pick up a lot of players in this offseason. Joique Bell on the free agents list, he's 84 overall. 84 overall, Teddy Bridgewater is a free agent. You'll be seeing the league signings as well at the end of this video, as we're just showing you just a few of the free agents that are on the free agent list, because they don't go after, I believe, around 80s when they stopped showing all the free agents. As we can see here, they don't really go past 82, but there are several other free agents. So after we are finished, these are the free agents that are left over. There is a bunch of players here that can make a pretty good football team if you're a team looking to rebuild and getting one-year contracts for players. Martavis Bryant is the biggest one from all of those names. As we go down the list, we can see all these players. There's a bunch of players that we're not going to show, but Marshawn Lynch does indeed decide to take our offer, and he is going to be a Seattle Seahawks once more. Michael Bennett signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A bit of a shocker, but he is back with where he started. AJ Green goes to the Cowboys. Adams, former Green Bay Packer, now a Giant. Kelvin Benjamin going to the Saints. Geno Atkins going to the Falcons. Akeem Ayers to the Bengals. A bunch of players here moving. This is a business after all, and a bunch of players have moved. Trey Mason is going to the Vikings, trying to replace Adrian Peterson, who retired in this offseason. They have a bunch of players that we lost as well. We're going to have to try and come back from it. Golden Tate goes to the Buffalo Bills. There's a bunch of players that have moved on from the Seattle Seahawks. There's a bunch of players that are at least in the Washington State area. Austin Seferian Jenkins is one of them. Teddy Bridgewater, if I'm not mistaken, he goes to the Washington Redskins. Here's our first pick. We go and pick up Lateral Simmons, 77 overall. We drafted him at number 10 a bit early, but we do get a decent pick in Lateral Simmons. He will be a starter for the next up-and-coming season. Ishmael Taylor, not a bad pick, 79 overall, has some really good speed, 97 speed, so if he gets beat, he could easily make up for it. TJ Grimes, a right tackle, something we don't have, an 84 overall, number one true talent. And the Seattle Seahawks pick up a steal in the draft, the best player in the draft according to Madden. A pretty good pick for the Seattle Seahawks. Donovan Alden, 75 overall, not a bad pick for the Seahawks. We go here once more, another pick, Stephen Farrell. He's not a bad pick either. So the Seahawks are trying to bulk up that defensive line. Deion Graves picked up. We don't have the greatest of picks here at the end. We get some decent picks, 68 overall. Shalon Mosley. Trayvon Fuller, we pick up him, 67 overall. Tremont Peterson, we'll be picking up him as well. It's an excellent pick, but his overall is not the same that we saw. And we ended up trading our last pick, which would have been Mr. Irrelevant. These are the overall grades for all the players that we picked up. The Seahawks pick up Martavis Bryant in the offseason, or the start of the season. As we can see here, we pick up Martavis Bryant. And that does it for this offseason. We'll be seeing you in week 1 next year. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.